This is a video for the Saturn S-Series dust boot replacement. You can see the parts list listed here. These parts can be obtained from Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly Auto Parts, or AutoZone. They're 9/16 and half-inch dust boots. You'll also need a ball joint separator. These can be purchased or they can be rented at any of these places. As you can see here, the cotter pin's already been removed. And unfortunately, the boot is cracked. The previous owner has removed this. I don't know if it was due to an engine replacement, transmission work. I have no idea. There is no grease fitting on the bottom of this, so I'm going to have to go ahead and replace that boot. I'm using an 18mm wrench here. Now this is where your ball joint separator is going to come in handy. You're going to use that with a hammer, or you can cheat like I'm about to do if you have air tools. And it's that quick and that simple. Now to remove our boot, it's going to be real easy. You can try pulling it off. Sometimes they pull right off real easy, or they tear like you're seeing here. As you can see, there's still grease in this tie rod end, so it's still good, but it doesn't have a grease fitting on the bottom. So since the boot has an opening in it or a tear in it, that's not a good thing, so we're going to replace it. So I'm using a regular pair of pliers to remove it, and as you can see, it's removed. You're going to need grease, of course. And your grease you're going to use in conjunction with these black boots. You can get other colors, but the black is impregnated with graphite, so it's easier on the lubrication. This is real easy. Here I'm using a tube of grease because that's what goes into my grease gun. And it's real easy. You just take a blob of it and you're going to fill up the boot. Now, as well as filling up your boot with the grease, you want to get it on the tie rod as well. And I'm going to do that here just in a second, as you're going to see. And the reason you're doing that, again, is there's no grease fitting on the bottom. So you want to try to get as much grease in there as you possibly can. Just don't overdo it. You don't need a whole lot. And you just put your boot on like that. And now you're going to put it in place. See it squeezing out? As you tighten it up, the grease is going to squeeze out even more. Now hopefully you got new cotter pins. It's not really a good idea to use old ones because they can break. For safety reasons, I prefer to use the new ones. If it was a wife's car, it'd probably be old ones. Now you can tighten this with a wrench. This is 18mm, or you can use a socket and a ratchet if you want to do that, or you can use an air impact. Whatever tickles your fancy, I prefer to use a wrench. That way I know how tight I'm getting everything. As you can see, this is relatively easy. Now you want to wipe off as much of that old grease as you can. You don't want to get any grease in the driveway, so that way you tick somebody off with a big blob of grease and then you walk into the house with it. Not a good idea. Been there, done that. These are 1/8 inch by 1.5 inches. And you put them in like so. You might have to rotate that nut back and forth to the left or to the right in order to get that cotter pin in. Then you're going to take your pliers and you're going to bend it up over the top. And if you worry about the length, you can cut it off with diagonal cutters or just leave it like it is. It won't hurt anything. That's about it. I hope I helped somebody out.